to the end zone, and it's pulled in.
Consistently inconsistent is not exactly a term that I would say is positive. And it's certainly not something you want to be hearing around your favorite team's star player. For NFL fans, few things are more frustrating than inconsistent players. One week, your favorite player looks like an all-pro level guy. Next week, he's nowhere to be seen. It's a vicious cycle. The league's best players like Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Aaron Donald, and Jalen Hurts produce every single week. You always know what you're getting from them. But then, you got these 10 NFLers who alternate between hot and cold. It amounts to never-ending frustration because, well, they simply can't decide if they want to be a superstar, a general disappointment, or somewhere in between. So with that, let us dive into the NFL's 10 most frustrating players.
We're a little bit more tighter on, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had a couple miscues, but just having that positivity and, turning the page.
Dak Prescott. No active NFL player better suits the term frustrating than the Dallas Cowboys signal color. Love or hate number 4, he is just the perfect definition of hot and cold. Prescott is an absolute stats machine, consistently ranking near the top of the league in every major passing category. Excluding the 2020 season, in which he missed all but 5 games, Dak has never had a losing season since breaking into the NFL in 2016. But why is Prescott so freaking frustrating? Well, his 2-4 career playoff record sorta speaks for itself. And Prescott stunk it up big time in the Cowboys' 2021 and 2022 playoff losses to the rival San Francisco 49ers. And yet, 6 days before their 2022 divisional round loss to San Fran, he pounded Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers into submission, and subsequently, the GOAT into retirement. A statement game for Dak, only to no-show the next playoff game. Dak puts up borderline MVP numbers each year and always has Dallas in playoff contention. Yet, they haven't gotten past the divisional round with number 4 at the helm. And that's what makes him so difficult to comprehend. On one hand, Dallas could look to replace Dak and hope to find a more money QB in crunch time. On the other hand, what are the odds of actually finding a QB that's better than Prescott? Kirk Cousins. Cousins is hardly different from Dak Prescott. He puts up Pro Bowl-like numbers every single year, but lacks the playoff success that makes him so highly scrutinized. Since 2019, Cousins was a top 5 leader in every major passing category. He led Minnesota to the postseason in 2019 and a surprise NFC North Division crown in 2022. As well, Cousins had the Vikings in the playoff picture this year before unfortunately suffering a season-ending Achilles tear. Cousins is good for over 4,000 yards and 30-plus TDs each and every year. But he's also 1-3 in the postseason for his career. And don't get us started with his career record against teams above 500. The Washington Commanders have been in QB purgatory since Cousins left in 2018. Minnie has had stability at quarterback and a consistent top 10 offense with Cousins at the helm. So, is he a franchise quarterback? Yeah. Obviously. Is he a guy that can win you a Super Bowl? Probably not. And that is what makes Cousins such a frustrating player. You can absolutely defend him by using his stats, but you can also critique him by pointing out his lack of success in big games. Stefan Diggs. Statistically speaking, Diggs is as consistent and reliable as it gets, so why is he on this list? Well, his postseason performance in Buffalo has been meh at best. Also, even though the Bills have made him a top 5 receiver in the game, Diggs can't help but stir the pot and pout over and over and over again over everything. Diggs left the Bills' locker room early after their 2022 playoff loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. He missed the first day of minicamp this year, and quarterback Josh Allen had to go to the podium to defend him. We get it if a star wideout is frustrated when they aren't getting the ball, but why is Diggs always angry and causing drama when he's well paid, a top 5 receiver on a bona fide Super Bowl contender? Seriously, what more does he need to be happy? Probably not a good time to mention that Diggs failed to record a receiving TD in his last 4 playoff games. Sorry, Steph, but you really gotta step it up in the big moments if you want to whine as much as you do. Diggs just needs to be happy with the great situation that he's in and try to help the Bills win a Super Bowl. All these me-first antics need to end now. Khalil Mack. Mack should get to the Pro Football Hall of Fame when all is said and done, but oh boy, has he been hot and cold since his monstrous 2018 season with the Chicago Bears. The 2016 Defensive Player of the Year went off in his first season with the Bears, racking up 12.5 sacks, 4 pass defenses, 6 forced fumbles, and a pair of fumble recoveries. Mack led Chicago to 12 wins and its first NFC North Division title in 8 years. But Mack's play has been nothing short of maddeningly inconsistent ever since. He failed to reach double-digit sacks in each of the next 4 years, only to finally hit the mark again with the Los Angeles Chargers in 2023. So, after a couple of years where he was below his usual standards, Mack suddenly looks like an All-Pro again at the age of 32. So, a question. Is he actually elite again, or is this just a brief career revival for the 7-time Pro Bowler? Well, I guess we'll all stay tuned. George Pickens. It's not just Pickens' Jekyll and Hyde production that is maddening, but also his antics when he doesn't get things his way. Pickens had a stellar rookie year for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022, recording 52 receptions for 801 yards and 4 touchdowns. Pickens was expected to go off in 2023, but, well, he's only shown modest improvement as a sophomore. Now, Pickens is a bit of a unique case here, because he makes jaw-dropping acrobatic catches that make him look like an in-his-prime Julio Jones. Or he can burn All-Pro corner Marlon Humphrey for a game-winning touchdown. But then he'll also drop should-be gimmies or fail to find separation and then throw a tantrum. Remember when he went to Instagram and removed all Steelers references after that Week 9 win over the Tennessee Titans? Yeah, not exactly mature, George. Is Pickens going to be the next great receiver in Pittsburgh, or is he gonna go out as a diva and whiner like Antonio Brown or Le'Veon Bell? It could go either way, but we certainly hope that he gets mature and finds some more consistency in his game. Jamal Adams. From 2017 to 2020, Adams made his case as the best all-around safety in football. He earned 3 Pro Bowl nods, 1 first-team All-Pro, and 2 second-team All-Pro selections. Adams was a budding superstar on a miserable New York Jets team to begin his career. Frustrated with losing, he sought a move and was sent to the Seattle Seahawks in a 2020 offseason blockbuster trade. Adams had a season for the ages in 2020, racking up 9.5 sacks to set a single-season record for defensive backs. The Seahawks won 12 games and picked up their first NFC West Division crown in 4 years. His play has inexplicably dropped in Seattle ever since, however. He is one of the worst safeties in coverage, making him a fun target for opposing QBs. He didn't have a single sack in 2021 and missed all but 1 game in 2022. He has improved slightly since returning from injury in 2023, but it's nothing close to superstardom. Adams' sack numbers have inexplicably disappeared, and though he remains a grade A ball hawker, the guy just keeps getting burned in coverage. Then he'll make up for it with a couple of big plays on the ball and look like a star again. There's really just no in between. Adams can be a game changer one day, then a total liability the next. If that is not a maddeningly frustrating player, then who is? Jerry Jeudy. There was a fun debate as to whether Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb was the better prospect back in 2020. The Denver Broncos took Jeudy 15th overall, while the Dallas Cowboys happily settled on Lamb at number 17. While Lamb has quickly cemented himself as a top 5 receiver in the game, we're still waiting for Jeudy to break out 4 years later. Jeudy is frustrating because he can show signs of growing into a future superstar one game, then he practically disappears the next. Jeudy had 52 receptions for 856 yards and 3 touchdowns as a rookie. The next year, he missed 7 games and had just 467 yards and 3 touchdowns. In 2022, his first season with Russell Wilson, Jeudy had a career year with 67 catches for 972 yards and 6 touchdowns. That was especially impressive for Jeudy because Wilson had an awful first year in Mile High City. Sure enough, Wilson bounces back in 2023, but Jeudy is rarely anywhere to be found. Man, sure enough, Wilson bounces back in 2023, but Jeudy is rarely anywhere to be found. Come on, it is just complete madness, people. Denver's offense has been much better in 2023, and yet it's mostly Cortland Sutton carrying the passing game with Wilson. Jeudy, on the other hand, well, he's just reverted back to his 2021-like form. So, is Jeudy gonna be a superstar? Maybe not in Denver, but elsewhere? Or is he just not gonna live up to the sky-high expectations that he entered the league with some years ago? Well, good luck finding out because he is always alternating between borderline Pro Bowler and a big-time bust. Stefan Diggs. Diggs is the ultimate boomer-bust player. He can make game-changing plays with his elite ball-hawking skills, but he can also get burned like toast in man-to-man coverage. Diggs led the NFL in interceptions during the 2021 season with 11 interceptions, including 2 pick-sixes. But according to Next Gen Stats, he also allowed 46 receptions for 790 yards and 4 touchdowns as the nearest defender that year. He was better in coverage in 2022, but not by a whole lot. His INT total obviously went way down, and Diggs allowed 50 receptions for 639 yards and 3 touchdowns. Diggs' all-or-nothing play still led to Pro Bowl selections in 2021 and 2022, and a first-team All-Pro nod in the former year. He was off to a promising start in 2023, but, he suffered a season-ending ACL tear ahead of Week 3. So, how do you look at Stefan's younger brother? A playmaking ballhawk specialist who takes over games, or as a liability on the Dallas D because of his struggles in man-to-man coverage? Well, take your pick and decide for yourself. To us, the hit-or-miss style of Diggs is what makes him so frustrating. You just simply never know what you're gonna get with him. DeAndre Hopkins. Remember when Hopkins was once a consensus top 3 wide receiver in the game? Those were the days. Whether you're a Tennessee Titans fan or a Hopkins owner in fantasy football, we all can agree on one thing. He's suddenly so agitating to watch these days. After an excellent first season with the Arizona Cardinals back in 2020, Hopkins saw his production drop considerably in 2021. He missed 7 games and 30.7 less receiving yards per contest compared to the 87.9 that he averaged the year before. Hopkins was suspended for the first 6 games of 2022 for violating the NFL's PEDs policy, adding more misery to Cardinals fans and fantasy football players alike. Arizona finally had enough and released Hopkins in the offseason, and he surprised everyone by signing a 2-year pact with the Titans of all teams. Hopkins' production in Music City has been solid, considering the mess that the Titans are this year, but his week-to-week production is still very frustrating. In between his first 2 100-yard outings this season, Hopkins had a 1-catch day and a home loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Injuries, suspension, and now inconsistent performances. What happened to the old reliable Hopkins that consistently torched defenses? I guess we just gotta accept that Hopkins ain't a model of consistency anymore. Chase Young. The Ohio State product was viewed as a generational prospect when Washington drafted him 2nd overall in 2020. And many other recent drafts, Young would have probably gone 1st overall. But the Cincinnati Bengals wisely took Joe Burrow with the top pick. Young won 2020 Defensive Rookie of the Year honors after tallying 7.5 sacks and 4 forced fumbles, leading Washington to a surprise NFC East Division crown. Unfortunately, and inexplicably, that was peak Chase Young in DC. Even before he suffered a season-ending ACL tear in his 2021 sophomore campaign, Young had just 1.5 sacks in 9 games. He missed most of 2022 recovering from the injury and had 0 sacks in 3 contests. Washington surprisingly declined the 5th-year option on Young's rookie deal. So how does he respond? No, by looking like his 2020 self yet again by recording 5 sacks in 7 games. The Commanders sold at the trade deadline and sent Young to the San Francisco 49ers for a 2024 third-round pick. Was Young a bust in DC, or should fans remember him fondly for his phenomenal 2020 rookie year that led Washington to a division title? Well, definitely depends on who you ask, because really, you can argue either way. Meanwhile, we can't wait to see Young's market unfold in 2024 free agency. Is someone gonna pay him like a superstar or give him a 1-year prove-it deal? Honestly, consider him to be the great wild card of 2024 free agents. Either Young is a franchise changer in San Fran or elsewhere, or he's gonna go down as an all-time flop. For now, he remains one of the most unpredictable, baffling, and frustrating players in the league. But who do you think is the most frustrating player in the NFL right now? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.